Hi guys, this is a video to show you how to solve a two-step equation. The video was linked in your class Kik, so you are here now watching it. But keep that class Kik open and take notes as you watch. So you're gonna basically solve the equations below and then prove to us that you followed each step of the way, because you'll share with us later on. When you are done, then you'll practice on the next slide in class Kik and show your own independent work. Just wanted to point out that the main goal right here is to solve for the variable by using the inverse operation. And that inverse operation means the opposite. So we're going to see all operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so let's move to the first equation that you have. You should have that in your class Kik and be watching the video step by step. I like to always draw a line right down from the equal sign. That's because we need to make sure that we are organized in our writing and our solving, and we actually see the outcome by the end of like, oh, what are we doing here? So I also always highlight my variable. My variable is x, which is next to my 6, and my 6 is my coefficient. My constant is 18, it's all alone, and it all equals to 60. So this means 6 times some kind of number, which we don't know, and then when we add 18, we get 60. So let's find that number. Talk to yourself as you solve, just like I do. It only will help you be a stronger learner and help you get through these problems, especially when we get to multi-step, meaning many more than just 2 steps. Okay, so what you want to say is, I see addition. Well, I see addition, that means I'm going to do the opposite. The opposite of addition is subtraction. I'm going to not add 18, I'm going to subtract 18. If I do it to this side of the equal sign, then I do it to the other side of the equal sign. So now I have on this side 18 minus 18. It's 0. You don't have to write 18 minus 18 equals 0. You could just cross them off. But on the other side, 60 minus 18, I can do. So I'm going to go borrow from the 6, make it a 5, 0 becomes 10, 10 minus 8 is 2, and 5 minus 1 is 4. Now in the middle, I'm going to bring down the equal sign. So if it helps, draw a line or an arrow or make it stand out that it came down. And now I have left my coefficient, my 6x, my variable. Again, I still need to find out what is x, what number does it represent? So again, 6 times a number equals 42. Well, 6 times a number, I need to do the opposite of multiply, which is divide. To get x alone, I'm going to divide by 6 and divide by 6 on this side as well, because what you do to one side, you do to the other. 6 divided by 6 on this side equals 1. So x is now all alone. You could write 1x, or it's the same thing as just writing x. And that's going to equal, again, look at that arrow. I'm going to add it in. That equal sign is still staying nice and organized in my work. It's going to equal, what is 42 divided by 6? Yes, it's 7. So x is 7. So now I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, or substitute it in, for my variable. X is 7. I should have done that in the green, because that's what I wanted to find. That's what I made it at the first time. 6 times 7 plus 18. Does it all equal 60? Yeah. And you can always type in a calculator and do this too. I'm just showing you that this is how I check my work. It does help. Okay, and you don't have to also write this off to the side. I'm just showing you that sometimes we forget when we see a fraction bar that it means division. So if you want to write it, that's fine. Okay, so let's do number 2 next. You could always pause the video and take your time. Number 2 is 27 plus 2x equals 39. Again, I'm going to draw my line, stay organized. Notice that my constant is now first in my equation. Before, I had my coefficient plus a constant. Now I have a constant plus a coefficient. So it looks a little different. In this problem, I see addition. I see this positive 27, this constant of 27. I still need to get that x alone. I don't know what it is. So think of it as I got to get rid of it. I got to move it over to the other side of the equal sign so that I get x alone. So this number 27 is like in the way. Think of that. So because I see addition, I'm going to subtract. Because I see this positive 27, I could also think of it as like negative 27, or like get rid of it. So 27 minus 27 would make it 0. So now I know it's gone. And because I'm subtracting it on this side, I subtract it on this side as well. I draw a line here to kind of just know that was my first step. And to now kind of write my equal sign of 39 minus 27. So now 9 minus 7 is 2, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So I have 12. I'm going to bring down that equal sign in the middle. What I have left on this side is now my coefficient, and that's 2x. I still don't have x alone, but now I'm only down to a one-step equation. So now I have 2 times something equals 12. The opposite of multiply is divide. So in order to get it alone, the x, I need to divide by the number that's with it, the coefficient. You divide by that coefficient. Divide by the 2 on both sides. Again, 2 divided by 2, or a number when you divide it by itself, is 1. So now x is all alone. Equal sign gets brought down, and now 12 divided by 2 is 6. So x is 6. Again, you can check your work off to the side and rewrite your equation. 27 plus 2 times 6 equals 39. Yeah, do your multiplication. Add your 27. If you like to write them vertically, up and down. Yep. Okay, checks, it works out. Okay. Moving over to number 3. All right, so now we have a different kind of two-step, and this one is subtraction that I see right off the bat. I have 8x minus 12 equals 68. I see subtracting 12 on this side of my equal sign. So that means I'm going to do the opposite, the inverse operation. So I'm going to add my 12 here And what if I do to that side? Then I have to do it to the other and draw a line saying, okay, what is that going to equal? Now, you could also read this as a negative 12. You could also say the opposite of negative 12 is positive 12. So I know that that would be 0. If it helps you to know that as well, you can do that. If you just see, oh, I see minus 12 and the opposite is add 12, that's okay too. Just so you know that it's interchangeable, that sometimes we'll say both. Okay, so now on this side, I'm going to do my 68 plus my 12. 8 and 2 is 10. Carry my 1, 6, 7, 8. I have 80. Bring down the equal sign in the middle. And then bring down my coefficient, my 8x. And my 8x, again, still need that x all alone. I forgot to highlight it at the start, sorry. Now, again, 8 times something equals 80. The opposite of multiply is divide. Notice that this step is kind of always at the end of these problems. Now, 8 divided by 8 is 1, or x is now all alone. And 80 divided by 8 is 10, so x is 10. I can plug it in now. 8 times 10 minus 12 equals 68. 8 times 10 is 80. 80 minus 12, I can check that in a calculator, or I can write it right here. Yep, that checks out. Okay. Number 4, last one. All right, orange. All right, I need to get that variable x all alone. I see a subtraction problem. 9 minus 3x equals negative 30. Well, I need to get x alone. So right now, I'm not going to do plus 3x. Because if I do plus 3x over here, I can't do 30 plus 3x. Because they are not like terms. 30 does not have an x. So I can't do these two together. Okay? What you need to do or remember is your vocab. You need to remember that you move the constant, and the constant is that number that's all by itself, not the number with the variable, the coefficient. So you're going to read it as 9 is a positive 9. To get rid of it and move it over to the other side of the equal sign, you make it the opposite, a negative 9. Or just know, I need to make this 0 and make them gone, so get rid of it. So 9 minus 9, 0. But if I do minus 9 on this side, I have to do subtract 9 or minus 9 on that side. Now I write equals. They are all gone. It's good to cross them off so you know you're not using it later on. Okay, negative 30 minus 9. So we're going to tell you that you have to use a calculator to help yourself kind of move forward with these problems. Okay, so it's okay if you forget or don't know. And I would calculate it in a calculator. You would get negative 39. Bring down your equal sign. Now what's left over is a negative 3x. I always circle when I see negatives left over, or that's why I also said cross these off so that you don't like miss the positive or the negative sign. This comes down and this is left over. Now we still have our x to look for. Negative 3 times something makes it negative 39. Opposite of times, opposite of multiply, is negative 3, or dividing, and we're going to divide by negative 3 on both sides. These will cancel. A negative 3 divided by a negative 3 is 1, or you're left with x. And equals in the middle. Negative 39 divided by 3. A negative 3. So a negative divided by a negative would be a positive, and you would get positive 13. So again, calculate it. Make sure you're correct in your calculations. Double check it. Again, you can double check your work now by plugging it in, substituting in 9 minus 3 times 13. You can always put your number in parentheses. Negative 30, is this true? And then I would literally circle it again. Negative 3 times 13. That part is what gets people confused. Negative 3 times 13 is negative 39. Remember, we just kind of saw that. And then now I'm going to bring down this 9. And then now equals negative 30. Does this work? And then type it in your calculator. 9 minus 39. This equals negative 30. It's correct. Okay. Please go ahead and finish your problems on the next slides and use the notes that you just took and check back on the video to help you if you need anything. Thanks, guys. Good luck.